Now, from the Lowcountry's news leader, this is Live 5 News.
South Carolina is slowly beginning to reopen, but many Lowcountry beaches are still restricting access to people who don't live there. We have team coverage this afternoon on why these beach communities are limiting access and how long it could last.
Paola Tristan Arruda is covering the Isle of Palms. Rob Way is on Sullivan's Island. Rob, Sullivan's Island decided to extend the checkpoint until May 12th, and there was also talk of reducing the checkpoint's hours.
And this checkpoint runs from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. And you are right, during that discussion between council members and the mayor, they were looking at reducing those hours to 8 to 5. Now that would allow folks who don't live on the island to still have access to the beach during a few more daylight hours than what they have right now. Mayor Patrick O'Neill said it was an idea he and Isle of Palms Mayor Jimmy Carroll supported, but Sullivan's Island's police chief came out against it. Then some other council members did it too, but they all settled on being flexible to change those hours if IOP makes the first move.
If the Isle of Palms tonight votes to have shorter hours than we agreed to this morning, we'll need to take another look at it. To the extent that we're running our checkpoint more than they are, or for more hours, we would need to be running an extra checkpoint at Breach Inlet where the two islands connect.
Before today's meeting, this checkpoint was set to expire on Thursday, but again, it has been extended to May 12th and will run 7 to 7 unless there's changes made over on Isle of Palms that they also want to do here on Sullivan's Island. So it's more in waiting to see what Isle of Palms does before they make any changes here. Live on Sullivan's Island, Rob Way, Live 5 News.
All right, thanks, Rob. Paola Tristan Arruda also live for us right now. Paola, the Isle of Palms City Council meeting starts in less than an hour.
Yeah, and all eyes will be on Isle of Palms, especially now since both Folly Beach and Sullivan's Island voted to extend some of those restrictions. Tonight, they'll decide whether or not to do the same for the next 2 weeks. Mayor Jimmy Carroll says that he's been talking to all of the beach communities, but all communities are different. He says he expects the checkpoints to stay, but there could be a discussion about reducing hours. They'll also be looking at what to do about short-term rentals and hotels. But once again, the governor's new state of emergency order could play a big part in what they should decide to do. And now, again, that meeting starts in just under an hour, and people can submit their comments online before the meeting starts. Reporting live, I'm Paola Tristan, Live 5 News.
This afternoon, Myrtle Beach City Council decided to open its beaches to the public. This is a live look right now at Myrtle Beach. Right now, the city points out there are no lifeguards if you should go onto the beach, so swimming will be at your own risk. Myrtle Beach will also have more officers and beach patrol enforcing social distancing.
Now listen to this. DHEC, that is the State Health Department, is distributing rapid testing devices all across the state. State health officials say they're going to more than a dozen places here in South Carolina, including the Charleston County Jail, Williamsburg Regional Hospital, and the Regional Medical Center in Orangeburg. The department says it has requested more devices for the future. Since the coronavirus crisis started, there have been hundreds of thousands of claims for unemployment here in South Carolina. We've heard from many of you about all of the problems you've been having when dealing with the State Department of Employment and Workforce. So, Michael Higdon spoke one-on-one today with their chief of staff to see how they're working to fix the problems.
One of the biggest complaints we've been getting is people calling the Department of Employment and Workforce over and over and over, and they're either on hold for hours or they never even get through. Take a look at the latest numbers. You can see the rise every week until the week ending April 18th. This is the first decrease recorded since mid-March. Since the pandemic, there's been 341,730 claims. The agency's call center itself has seen an increase of 856% in the last 5 weeks. And because so many people have complained about not being able to get through, the agent confirmed to me yesterday they have officially added more than 400 workers to handle the phones.
We continue to train and develop those individuals, so not only are they just answering calls, they're able to provide resolution. And that's been the focal point over the last week and going forward, is giving individuals more so they can actually resolve.
Officials tell me they've been trying to update all of their tutorials. They've added a chatbot feature to their website and put out information on all social media platforms. And they are encouraging people to check out those resources because that might have the answer that you are looking for, and that way you don't have to sit on the phone for however long. We've put all of those resources on live5news.com. For Live 5 Investigates, I'm Michael Higdon.
State Superintendent Molly Spearman says technology with at-home learning in schools has been one of the state's biggest challenges. Some districts don't have enough electronic devices for all of the students, and internet access is limited in some areas. Alexis Simmons live in West Ashley. Spearman says they could add additional days to the next school year as well to help those students who have limited internet access so that they won't fall behind. Alexis.
Well, and State Superintendent Spearman says they are considering this move, but she says it's very expensive. She also says they're trying to determine if the outcomes are worth the cost. Now, she tells us that it costs $100 million for 1 week to pay for teacher salaries in South Carolina. She's most concerned about low-income areas where students might not have the same resources as other students. For example, internet service. She says while the school might issue devices, they need the internet to use them. Within the next 2 weeks, the state is expected to get more than $216 million in federal education stabilization funds from the CARES Act. Spearman says 90% of those funds will go directly to school districts and can be spent on electronic devices, cleaning supplies, mental health support, summer learning, coronavirus response efforts, and more.
The problem is you've got to have a parent who's available and who can work with the child with pencil and paper versus a teacher who might be able to communicate through the internet. And unfortunately, usually those situations will be in the poorest areas with the children who live in poverty, who already struggle.
And next on Live 5 News at 6, I'll have more on possible plans for next school year, and that could include limiting the amount of students who are inside the building at any given time. I'm live in West Ashley. Alexis Simmons, Live 5 News.
Oh, you want to see a pretty picture? Look at this. A live look outside right now in the Lowcountry couldn't be nicer. Blue skies, a lot of sunshine out there, warm temps. Chief Meteorologist Bill Waltz now in the First Alert Weather Center. Bill, yes, it was so nice outside today.
So nice.
So nice.
It was so nice.
I rode my bicycle over to your house.
Thank you.
But because of social distancing,
right,
I didn't knock on your door.
That's okay. That's why I have a cop there, just to keep you away. But that's okay. Hey, I was going to have you come over and cut the grass anyway. All right. I need you to cut the grass. Look at this beautiful weather. Isn't it gorgeous out there? Unbelievable. As you take a look at that pretty picture, that's out there in Berkeley County at the Old Santee Canal Park. 76 is where we are. 75 is where we're going at 6, at 7 o'clock, 73. Upper 60s at 8, 9 o'clock tonight. A nice looking evening on the way. First Alert, Super Doppler Max, all quiet across eastern and coastal South Carolina. Very, very nice out there as we check out some of the other numbers from, say, Somerville, Flower Town. Plenty of flowers blooming out there now at 79 degrees, 77 Walterboro, 78 Orangeburg, still upper 70s, Monk's Corner, Kings Tree, back over to Georgetown. Look at that, all down along the coast. 75 down toward Folly Beach and down in Kiowa right now. Very, very nice. Now, coming up for us right here in just a couple of minutes, the next big thing could be some showers and even a couple of thunderstorms. So the rain forecast, when we'll expect that? I'll talk about that and the complete 7-day here in a few minutes. What about driving home? Let's check that out as well. First Alert traffic up on the bridge as we go. Looking good on the Ravenel Bridge. No worry right there. In fact, the Don Holt Bridge also looking very, very nice out there. And as we take a look at the board, everything is green. We have one little wreck way out here back along 78, but other than that, everything else is looking fine. More traffic and your weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
The State Department of Natural Resources, DNR, says a 26-year-old man died after his kayak overturned today. The Berkeley County Coroner says it happened around noon at the Rediversion Canal in Russellville. The coroner says the kayaker tried to swim to shore when he went under. he was not wearing a life jacket. We're still working to learn the victim's name. Firefighters say 2 downtown Charleston homes are badly damaged after a fire. Look at this. It happened just after 12:30 this afternoon on Percy Street. The Charleston Fire Department says they got there in less than 2 minutes and were able to get the fire under control. Luckily, nobody was hurt. The Red Cross helping both families affected.
Members of the State Election Commission and Governor Henry McMaster are facing a federal lawsuit regarding the upcoming June primaries. The American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, and South Carolina's NAACP say that requiring voters to physically report to polling locations goes against advice from public health experts. They also say absentee voting might seem challenging and therefore discouraging. A spokesperson with the State Election Commission says the office can't comment on pending litigation, but there are measures in place to ensure voters and poll managers' safety.
Essential employees still have to go to work, but many of them have kids. How the state is stepping in to help with child care.
Businesses across South Carolina dealing with a drop in demand. How many of them are using it as a chance to help fill a critical need in our state? Just into our Live 5 newsroom, the State Health Department says 15 more people have died from the coronavirus in South Carolina, including 2 people from the Lowcountry in Berkeley and Charleston counties. That brings the total number of deaths in our state to 192. State health officials are also reporting 123 new cases, bringing our total to more than 5,700. The state is now offering child care vouchers to assist essential workers in paying for child care so they can continue to provide critical services. It's a program through the Federal CARES Act. Nick Reagan taking a look at what this could mean now for child care in our state. Nick?
Yeah, that's right. South Carolina received $63 million from the federal government to help stop coronavirus. Now some of that money is being poured into this voucher program. The Department of Social Services is going to administer the program. In a statement, they tell us that this is a badly needed tool. According to their own numbers, more than half of the state's child care facilities have shut down, and the other half are experiencing large drops in enrollment. Now, there are 2 qualifications for the vouchers. First, you must be deemed an essential worker as defined by the executive order from the governor, and you must actually need this service to actually get it. Otherwise, if you can go to work without childcare, you cannot qualify for this. Now, the DSS will allow parents to pick the actual facility, but the vouchers are not unlimited. Anything remaining on your bill after the voucher, well, parents are going to have to pick that up. Now, Pam Bryant from DSS says that these parents need safe places for their kids, adding, quote, "Their employment at these essential businesses mean they can continue providing much needed services and support to South Carolina citizens during the COVID-19 emergency." Now you can head to our website, live5news.com, for more information on how you can apply and that list of qualifications. Reporting in Charleston, Nick Reagan, Live 5 News.
Hospitals and other healthcare centers across the state have been working around the clock to get medical supplies. You know that. As Jason Raven tells us, to get some help, they have been turning to some of the most unlikeliest of places.
Well, last month when Best Mattress had to close their doors to customers, they weren't making as many beds as they normally do. Now, instead of just waiting around for things to get back to normal, staff here started making some personal protective equipment to help out healthcare workers. Owner Buddy Delaney says a few weeks ago he kept hearing about face masks and face shields being in low supply across the country. Delaney said he wanted to give his staff something to do while they waited to open back up to customers. So they decided to get supplies to start making face shields. It took a couple days to figure out the best way to make them, but once they got that figured out, they were making dozens a day. He said their first few face shields were tested out by local hospitals, and once they were approved, they began donating them. By the end of this week, Delaney says they will have made more than 1,000 of these face shields.
The great thing about this country and the people that we see is they're willing to do anything to try and help their fellow man or their community or their small business, and so it's been very rewarding to see that.
Now, Delaney says in addition to making these face shields, his staff has been helping local hospitals repair N95 face masks. They're putting new elastic on these face masks. Now, Delaney says some of the raw materials they have been using were donated to them by companies who heard about what they were doing. In West Columbia, I'm Jason Raven.
Now, your first alert forecast from Live 5 News.
Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Bill Walsh. Hope you had a great Tuesday so far. Another beautiful, beautiful day here in the Lowcountry. At least the weather's cooperating with us as we take a look at what's going on with First Alert Super Doppler Max. Boy, it is quiet out there. Looking very nice up and down the South Carolina coast. I mean, really, from the beaches back on out toward the lakes, Moncks Corner, out to Walterboro, out to Georgetown. Everything looking just fine right now. We're going out to Berkeley County, the old Santee Canal. Nice afternoon out there. Blue skies and a great temperature now, sitting at a comfortable 76 degrees. How about that? South wind at about 15. It's been kind of picking up a little bit this afternoon. And the normal high temperatures around 78, 79 for this time of the year. So we're still kind of holding maybe a little bit below that here during the afternoon hours. But looking at Mount Pleasant now, 73. Sullivan's Island, look at that, 75 out there on the island. 75 Folly out to James and John's Island. Wadmalaw back in the low 70s. 76 North Charleston and out to Hanahan. Even out to Walterboro right now. Not a bad looking afternoon. Almost evening now at 77. 78 up there in beautiful Orangeburg. Somerville upper 70s. Moncks Corner. Goose Creek upper 70s. Kings Tree and Neesmith, the home of. And McGill, she yells it every time. Very, very nice up there in Andrews, Georgetown, McClellanville. Overall, not too bad out there. So as we go hour by hour, looks good. If you've got plans to maybe head out, do a little walk a little later on, maybe you're just going to get out there and, just get some takeout or whatnot. 8 o'clock, 69. 9 o'clock, 67, 10 o'clock, 66. Yep, some pretty fine looking weather on the way. On the weather map itself, high pressure brought us a gorgeous day today. Looking for a pretty fair, comfortable night tonight. Still pumping up some pretty nice warm air for tomorrow. As we head into tomorrow, I think we're going to see more sunshine, but we have a rainmaker out here to our west. That's that cold front right there. Thursday's rainmaker is going to move on in and bring us some showers, even a few thunderstorms, although I don't expect any severe weather. Could see some rain showers, in particular into early Thursday. Here's how it sets up on Future Tracker to give you the first alert. 7 o'clock out the door in the morning, not too bad. I'll put the clock into motion. As we head into lunch hour, again, looking okay, maybe a few clouds kind of mixing. By tomorrow evening, we'll see the clouds increase a little bit. And watch this. This is tomorrow evening. I'll take you overnight into, say, Thursday morning. Here comes the cold front moving east. Showers, even a couple of thunderstorms riding out ahead of it. So it could be a wet drive to work if you're going to work on Thursday morning. So kind of put that in your planning. And then as we head into Thursday afternoon, some showers, maybe even a couple of thunderstorms by lunchtime. And then by after lunch, most of that should pull away and we'll start to clear out for a much better weekend. So bottom line, think about this. Thursday, that's going to be the wet day. The rest of the week looks pretty nice. So our eye, of course, is always on your next 24 hours. Of course, as we watch, the overnight tonight looks good, fair and comfortable. There it is for Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny, a few clouds on the increase later. And then Wednesday night, increasing clouds, and certainly we'll keep those showers on into Thursday's forecast. Winds are going to be picking up tomorrow afternoon, small craft advisory after lunchtime. Sunny, breezy, south winds 15 to 20, maybe picking up to 25, with a low tide at about 7-11 in the morning, water temperature at 70. A lot of folks still sneezing. You notice that? The pollen, right? Pollen count now is a medium to high at 8. I checked this just a few minutes ago. Oak, hickory, and mulberry, the main contributors. Again, that's just almost in the middle, maybe a little more toward high from middle. But again, there's still quite a bit of pollen out there. So hang in there for you pollen folks. All right, there it is. For tomorrow, 80. Some sun and clouds, breezy. Thursday, showers and thunderstorms. Again, don't expect severe weather with this, but we could see quite a bit of rain, maybe up to an inch in some of the modeling. So again, just kind of be on the lookout for that. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, beautiful sunshine. Wow, look at that, 88 on Sunday. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. Haven't seen that number in a while. Near 90 on Monday. It's going to get hot before a cold front comes through and cools things off. All right, more coming up right here in our next half hour.
You know, with hair salons empty, stylists are adapting during the coronavirus crisis. Wait till you hear some of the creative ways they're doing business.